Good day, family. How are you? We are here, Hunty, at the Sister Chat. Yes, it's going down. You know what we do. We talk about life, love, good, bad, and indifferent. Yes, honey, we want to share our thoughts and our prayers, and we send them out to each and every one of you. So, welcome. Welcome into our house. Come on in and join the chat. The chat is what we do, the interviews is what we do. Hunty, you want to be where we are. Yes, and I'm just going to say it twice. Hunty, you want to be where we are. So come on, y'all. Join the chat. Chat with us a little bit because the Sister Chat is about to go down and the experience starts right now.
Well, peekaboo. Where'd she go?
Girl, I had to grab me some pineapples, okay?
Uh-oh, we're in for some trouble.
You know,
Grab some pineapples.
it's
Starting
a
early.
pineapple
Flag
kind
on
of
the
day,
field.
okay?
Flag on the field. She's starting off already. Hey, how you just walk on? I don't know. Maybe it's because it was all the hunties. Hunty. You like, hunty need them pineapples.
That's what it is. I'm like, I'm gonna need some fruit for this session. Yes,
You know what?
it's a
That is a
fruitful
nice thing.
session.
Yes, it is. Indeed, it is. I must agree with you there. So, how you doing, sister?
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing, my love?
You know me, creative and maintaining. That's what we do, right?
Continue. Continually.
So, welcome all of you who are now tuning in, whether you're new or whether you're one of our faithful few. We just want to say hello to you and get all the halas and lalas out the way so we can get down to unpacking what we're talking about today.
Yes.
So, streaming now live. If you are following us on any of our YouTube pages, you know what they are. But just in case you don't, if you're following the No BS Duo Show or TKBSDS Pride or the Sister Chat YouTube station, we are there right now live,
Yep.
uncut, unmute,
Mm-hmm.
while we're currently on. Now, if you want to remain uncute, which I say uncute, I don't want to say
We want to be cute. We want to stay cute.
no, because I understand sometimes we have to pull it off and we still can be cute. So if you want to receive it uncut and unmuted, whether we're on or off, you can catch us on our TKBSDSproductions.com, and that's productions with an S calm.
Mhm.
And if the experience is over, you can't follow by looking at the TV or your phone. You're walking, you're driving, you just want somebody to talk to, you just want them to hear something that's inspirational. Then you can go to our podcast where we are on all musical platforms, including iHeartRadio, and you can listen in, as the ladies would say from the TKBSDS production staff, you can binge in, just aux us in and
Yep.
listen. So now that all that's out the way, I guess we can get down to business.
Get on down. Let's go with the get down.
So,
Set it up.
you know what? That would have been a good setup song.
Set it up. Set it up.
They like dum 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 dum.
Because you know, girl, the music always makes us feel better,
Sure.
better and better, gooder and gooder. Okay.
Gooderer and Gooderer, is that in the library? I don't know.
It
Well, look,
might not be in the dictionary, but it's in my airy.
so with that being said, we want y'all to just share the love, share the live, and share to everyone. We're on right now. We're talking about something that I believe we all can benefit from. It's
Mhm.
from that one little lullaby we used to hear back in the day. So I'm going to go back to school on this one. Remember, we used to say, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me."
Yeah, that was not the truth.
That was a
Yes, the big L word. Okay, that was that.
So let's go ahead and put our disclaimers out there, because we about to say something that you may not agree with, but we feel the way we feel, and it's okay to feel the way you feel. And my disclaimer is, hey, it works for me. It may not work for you, and vice versa. It works for you, it may not work for me. So I'm not pushing anything or trying to persuade you or anything. I'm just trying to get you to look at different things from a different perspective.
Mhm.
Whereas Cinderella, the shoe may look good on you, but you may say you can't wear it. And maybe you can wear it, you just don't want to. That's your prerogative, as Bobby Brown would say. I'm saying we're going to Golden Corral and treat it like a smorgasbord, just like it is. Everything is to your liking. Take what you want and what you need to feed you. And if you don't see nothing you like, go to the next tray. That's all I'm saying. And it's okay.
It's okay.
And y'all know
That's
she
right.
got her disclaimer. Here we go.
Well, you know what I say, life is what it is, but it truly is like a box of chocolates, because you just never know what you're going to get, and you never know the perceptions of other people, how people see things, and how people speak about stuff. So, I'm coming from my perspective, from my life, from my upbringing, and I'm here to share that with you. But however, if you don't see it my way, that's okay. You can come on in the room and chat it up with us. So my disclaimer is, this is my opinion, and I'm going to do with it what I will, and you can do with yours what you will. But come on and share it. Share it with us. Why don't you?
Black Sheep said you can get with this, or you can
You
get
can get with that.
You can get with this.
You can get with that.
I think you go with this, because this is where it's at.
This is where it's at. The sister chat. This is where it's at. The sister chat. Okay, yes.
Yeah, hold on. Go back.
This is where it's at. The sister chat. Because this is where it's at. The sister chat. Sister chat is where it's at. Yes, the sister chat is where it's at.
Oh yeah, come on, y'all.
You got me rapping on here.
All right, so you listen, we know a lot of people who are independent singers. If you have a tune for us and you think that goes with what we just did, hit us up and let us go ahead and make you proud, because we're going to represent. Because what you say, the sister chat is where it's at, right?
It's where it's at. Sister chat is where it's at. Sister chat is where it's at.
Where is that? So listen, words is what we're talking about today. So you ever
Words
notice
matter.
they do matter, and when they're not placed in the right place of your sentence out of your mouth, can cause a heap of trouble.
Confusion.
Living in confusion.
Confusion. Yes, it can give you and just thinking about how we text, right? You will text someone and they misconstrue everything that you meant. So that's why sometimes it's better to just pick up the phone. Because there's like, well, how'd you get that out of that? You know what I mean? So words matter. Truth absolutely matters, which is what I see going on in the world right now. It's like, okay, when did lying get so popular? At
And
least it was popular behind the scenes. It wasn't up front and in your face. Just lie to me right in my face. Okay.
look, Kim said, you ain't got to lie to me.
You ain't gotta lie.
You ain't got to lie to me. But the thing about it is, some people can't handle the truth. And some people believe that their truth, that is their truth.
Yeah,
So I
that's
see
crazy.
what Martin Luther King says. Martin Luther King said, even they have a right. You know, them crazy loonies, all of them that think they got a right to feel the way they feel.
Mm-hmm.
We have no judgment on that. So before we go any further, we want to let everybody know we're not judging anything. We're saying change the perspective, because where you put your word can change a whole narrative of where you get ready to go, or where you get ready to stay, or the way you get ready to blow up.
Right.
And
Who picks you
sometimes,
up?
and sometimes the blow up is not a good blow up. Like, you know, some people like, I just blew up. No,
Not with them, you didn't.
I
Sometimes the blow up is just a bunch of hot air.
and
So you got
sometimes
to be careful to listen clearly and do your research on people, because people can quote unquote say anything. They can title themselves anything they decide, but do they have the credentials to back that up? You know, so that's what you really want to be careful of. Do they have the credentials? And not, I'm not talking about a conversation. If they have credentials, you can look them up. Okay.
even if you
So
can't look
be
them up,
mindful of being as, what is the word, as
discernment.
Inspector Clouseau as you can, because you really need to be an inspector at this stage of the game, because people are so good at masking themselves, because they've cloaked themselves in so many layers that, you know, by the time you get to the layer that's, oh my God, you already in. You know what I mean? Now you got to take forever trying to get the heck out. So it's better, it behooves you to do everything and all your work and all your investigative skills. Be a KK, a Kim Kardashian. She says she good at looking stuff up. Well, you know how you be looking up your boyfriend and trying to find out what he doing? Do that for your business, okay? Just do it for your business. It'll definitely do you good.
I believe that as well, because sometimes I go back to what we say with Texas, like we with the text messages and the emails, and you know, and then not only that, make sure that you watch your temperature
Yep.
of your emotions while you're speaking those words,
Mm-hmm.
because your words can purely be innocent, but your emotions is the one that gives it the sauce that takes it to what happened.
Yeah.
You'll be like, what happened was,
Right.
you know, and you could be saying, but I was just, and then next thing you know, okay, well, my mama said it's not what you said, is how you
How
said
you
it.
say it.
And
Yes.
because of how you said it, or how you texted in your message, and why you texted from your message, it just, you have to worry about your words. And then
Mm-hmm.
worry about your words when it comes to you and your life. Speak
Yes.
life over yourself. We are so
Quick.
used to speaking death over us.
Yeah.
We want that job, or we want that house, or we want that car. Because we already thought it, our process of our mind, it doesn't even matter how our words gonna come out, because we don't even believe what we're saying.
Well, you should believe what you're saying, or you shouldn't be saying it.
Look, I'm gonna get that car. Good and darn well, your finances ain't there. That's a desire, and you like, I want that car. I'm gonna get that car. But in the back of your mind, you already knocking down all the steps for you to get it. Oh, but they're not gonna give it to me because, okay, you just yourself. They go death right there.
Yeah. I was talking to a friend, and it's like, is this something that you desire or not? Because everything out of your mouth is like, yeah, but what's the but? I was like, either you desire it or you don't. Yeah, but this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. Well, how do you know that that's going to happen? And you're throwing out all of this negative things that's going to happen if you take this road, but you haven't lived it. You're judging by another scenario, another standard, a work thing that happened, and this is a relationship thing that happened. So it's like you done already started the relationship, started and failed the relationship, and you ain't even got off the phone.
You didn't even have a date yet, and you
already have a date yet, and you've already talked yourself out of it.
And and a lot of that comes from what happened
in the past, and right. You cannot seem to move forward, and even though we're telling ourselves that, yes, I did, I'm over that was in the past, but your actions say that you're not. You know what I mean? Because you're still hindering yourself, but what you're doing is hurting yourself. Truly you're hurting yourself in the process, because you haven't forgiven whoever that was, but you're still living your life like everybody is going to treat you like that person. So right. All of the other good people that could have been in your life, they're not coming, because you crossing them off before they even get started. It's so sad.
You sabotaged it because you knew, oh, this is going to happen the minute I say this, or the minute I do this. Stop.
Or the minute they say something that reminds you of what the other person did, or look.
Don't categorize.
Wait. You gave me that look. Oh, I seen her with her eye flashing, and I remember that. That's crazy.
Yeah, like my thing is, not all tracks of a sheep that's covered is not undercover wolves.
No.
Not all of them. They all walk the same way because we're all walking in the same direction. But it doesn't mean we all going to the same house, or we going right. to the same destination.
Right.
We're all on this highway called life, but we all have exits where we get off and fuel up. So the thing about it is, why are you sabotaging your road trip? Because you're saying, and you know what? I can get to the next rest stop because the last time, and then you at the middle, put your thumb out, talk about I need somebody to take me to the gas station to put something in the pail and come back to my car because something that happened in the past.
Right. Because you had a flat in the past on the highway. Now you scared to get on the highway. You won't get on the highway. You won't get gas. You just cut yourself off from life. Like you're not hurting anyone else. You cut yourself off from your own life and your own beautiful experiences. That next stop sign, or that next light, or that next highway ride could have been to the dolphins. You know what I mean? I'd have been happy.
But
I want to see the dolphins.
But you know what else we do? We sabotage it to the point that it's not them, it's us. We are so quick to evaluate what everybody else did. What did you do? What did you say? How did you say it? Mm-hmm. Are they the type of person that can take that? Because we want something so bad, and we know that they can't deal with who you are at point A. Why would you go on here to B, C, and D because you like it? Stop thinking things is going to change.
Right.
You don't think they're going to change for the better. You think they're going to change for the worse. So reverse it.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Start first that thing. You always say, you know what, it ain't gonna work because last one didn't work. How
Yep.
about going in with this one saying this one is gonna work? This one is it.
You are what you think. Like if you keep saying that this ain't gonna work, well, it's not. You done already told yourself. If you know you are what you think. And why do you think they tell children? You know what I mean? They're 3 years old. I am beautiful. Say I am beautiful. I am beautiful. I can do anything. I can do anything. Well, no one's telling us this, and we're not telling ourselves this as adults. You got to keep pushing yourself forward. You know, if you got to just put a daggone sign on your bathroom mirror, you know, I'm in charge of my own darn money, whatever it is that you want. You know what I mean? I'm going to make this move. You know, whatever the affirmation that you need to continue to say these things. You need to continue to strive towards them. But if you're going to tell yourself negative thoughts and tell yourself you can't do it, well, you already lost. And you never lose. You can fail forward, but you never lose unless you stop trying.
That's right. That's right. So instead of you already being dismissive to yourself,
Mm,
positive to yourself. Say,
right.
I am going to be all right today. I am going to get what I need today. And remember, what you think you may need usually turns out to be something that you really didn't need at all. We
Mm-hmm.
need to start not waiting for somebody else to tell us that we're great. Tell yourself that
Tell
you are great.
yourself.
And because remember, people are based off of emotions. So immediately people have a flavor of the month. You do know that.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a
Yep.
flavor of the day. So
Mm-hmm.
today I may like you. Tomorrow I may be like, ugh. You're waiting for me to keep pushing you.
Yeah.
Don't wait for me to push you. Push yourself because
Yep.
you got to be there by yourself with yourself when I'm not around.
You got to motivate yourself.
You got to
You got
love
to speak it
yourself.
into existence. But you also have to be a self starter. You've got to be motivated enough to do what it is that you want to do. You got to be motivated enough to do what it is that needs to be done. And then you've got to continue. You know, when you're doing sales, you cannot take no for an answer. I'm like, if you just took no, you would never sell anything. You got to have 50 no's before you get one yes. Like that teaches you to have that thick skin, and it teaches you your value. When sometimes when you're speaking and you're trying to do your sales, you don't feel as though you're giving them something valuable, so you minimize yourself, you sink yourself, and you're like, I just want to help you, I want to help you. You know, you're not being assertive and saying, you know, let me show you, you know, let me show you how you can make some more money, let me show you, let me take you there, let's do a one-on-one, you know, and stop trying to do everything all at once in one headspace. But you can't tell yourself no. We got enough no's out there that we have to take and move and grow and get beyond. But I'm definitely not going to tell myself no.
But be careful too, because there are some things that we do have to say no to, but we rather push and go keep saying yeah. Know the difference of when you need to use your words. Because there's times when I'm like, I want that, I want that, I want that. And no, good darn well, I don't need that. Some
Yeah.
of us want
I'm
things
not
that,
a I want girl too much.
and some of the things that we keep saying I can do. And it's great to know what we can do, but understand if it's for you to do. Know your words. Know your words.
Yeah.
We constantly say all the time, if you're climbing to a roof, make sure you're on the right building because you be doing all that work and that ain't even your house. How many times have you built a house for somebody else to live in?
Mm,
Because you didn't pay attention to your own words, and where you should have been saying no, you were saying yes. And when you should have been saying yes, you were saying no. So that's why we must self-check ourselves and our own words and knowing what's best for us. Prime example, scratch off all those little analogies that we grew up with. Those analogies don't apply today.
hmm.
They don't apply today. They're
Yeah.
outdated.
Yeah.
Use what you got to get what you want. Okay, but what happens if what you want wasn't what was created for you to have?
And what did they mean when they say use what you got? What did that really mean?
Exactly. And
Use
then,
what you got to get what you want.
then
Yeah. That
yeah,
has several meanings that can be taken in several different ways depending on your perspective.
show enough.
Show enough.
So that's why you have to be careful when you use your words. But start learning to do different words to motivate you, bring you up, build you up, and whatever is supposed to be connected to you will become a magnet and stay with you. You
Yes.
don't change because that's why I like that song when music said don't change. When you get my last name, don't change.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that ring on your finger, don't
Don't
change.
change.
I
Because
want you to
this is the
remain
person
this
I fell in
person
love with.
I fell in love
Yes.
with. And if
Mm-hmm.
that's not you who they fell in love with, I'm going to say this now. Get out.
She said that with the big eyes too, y'all. To
I'm
get
coming in again. I'm going to do
out.
it slow. Get out. Because your face.
Yeah.
This song says your hair was short. You said I got a cut, but I don't see no hair on the floor.
Right.
Remember that verse?
Yeah.
Come on.
Where did it go?
Come on, sisters. Come on, brothers. We talking to
Sometimes you gotta let it go. Let it go. But just the self-motivating part is, something that I really think, we can stretch home because, that's something that we're not doing. We're just looking in the mirror and saying, I am successful. I am whatever. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, whatever it is that your business, whatever it is that you're doing, I am a great lover. You know what I mean? Whether you are or not, I will be a fantastic catch. You know what I mean? Like you just gotta keep saying the positive that you want to happen in your life out loud. Say it out loud. Put it in the universe. And then let God put the super on your natural.
There she go. Her super on her natural. But again, it's not. It's so much more than just relationships we're talking about when we say this, because it could be the relationship with your family. It could be the relationship with your friends, and be careful because we so much want to have, till we end up sabotaging things on behalf of what we're doing and what we have, to when we stop and we wonder why they disappeared. That was because they only was connected to what you was trying to do to get them. So don't start stuff and then stop in the midst of stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just words, period. But like she said, you can't. That's why you got to know yourself. You have to spend some
that's
time
real
with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And people say, I spend time with myself all the time. No. Sometimes you got to go out with yourself and see, how do you act with you?
Right. Just that quiet time.
Just you.
Just you.
You.
Take yourself out to dinner.
Hey, Joe. Oh, my
Hey,
goodness.
Joe.
Joe. Look, Joe, prime example. Joe said, so he has this song. And the song that he has, it says, let me call the Uber for you. When a man got to tell you that he's going to call the Uber for you, I was like,
well.
Oh, like really?
It's time for you to go, boo. Let me handle that for you.
So when you look at that, now, if I'm in a situation and the man and I tell the man I'm leaving, and he says, good, you know what? Let me help you. As a matter of fact, let me call the car for you to come get you. You need to literally stop for a minute and say, whoosh, and step out of yourself for a minute and go, what just happened here?
Right. Woosah. Be like, wait a minute, did he just? Yes, he did.
He not only agreed with me leaving,
Yep.
but he
He
told
gonna help
women,
you leave.
I'm going to help you leave.
Yes, he
So
said, I'm gonna
even
help
if he
you.
was using reverse psychology,
Right.
he was for real with that. And
Yep.
you was like, wait a minute, that's not what I meant. Oh, no, 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 no.
Yeah, he reversed it right back on you.
But the thing about it was, his wasn't a reverse. His hand was on the phone and he was calling Uber.
I got you, boo. Don't even worry about it. Let me help you out the door.
You know, just like Mary Cross, my baby, she did something this weekend. And she did the Phyllis Hyman tribute. And she did a song that I hadn't heard in a very long. Listen, Phyllis Hyman has a catalog that's just mad. One
Yes,
day, I dare you all just to go through the whole catalog of every song she's ever sang, and you will hear she was telling you a story the whole time.
she was.
She sang a song that said, "Be careful how you treat my love, because love don't grow on trees. And if you got a good one, you better be good with me and be careful how you use my love. Because if you using me, I'm gonna figure that out and I'm gonna break up out of here." You know, so words, listen to the words. The words tell you something.
There's a story behind it.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing today, which I'm so happy to see that, returning after the pandemic, where people are really telling the story in the music. Again, it's so good to hear, because that's why we would fall back on, the historical music, because we didn't have any great stories to tell. Hey, Alfonso. Hey. I
Listen,
say Alfonso's back in the house.
he's back
Alfonso's
in
back in
the
the house.
But I have to rebuttal that. The music was there. Marketing hid it. They always was playing the music. The music was there. And how you know that? Because the pandemic came and all the music we started playing was music that was from 2013, 15, 17, 18, 2007, 2003. The music was hidden and put in a catalog.
Yeah,
And it was
some of it
put,
was just going by the interviews that we've had, and several of the artists were saying, that was something that they had done before,
yeah.
and that is so relevant now.
And the music, which is the spiritual sense of it that I use psychologically. Y'all may not agree with me, but so I believe what happened was the same thing that happened to Joseph. If everybody know the story of Joseph, Joseph was the favorite son, and the brothers went through him in a hole and all that other stuff, and then he got sent to the Pharaoh's house, and it was lied on and thrown in a jail, and came back up and was lied on again and thrown back in the jail, and then they forgot he was there, then they came back out, and he was able to tell a dream, and after he told the dream, he became a big person, and then the famine came. And then when the famine came, he had to feed the very people that sold him and gave him all this trouble. So I say all this to say this. What happened was our music was thrown in jail, and they called it jazz. And when they called it jazz, we remember jazz being elevator music. Don't nobody want to listen to elevator music. So they put our music, this is just me putting my mind here,
On a
they
shelf.
put our music in a place where they knew we would not go look. But then the pandemic came. And then we was able to go through and find things. It was like, wait a minute, I never knew about. Wait a minute, I never knew about this. And then love started coming back in the air. If we get rid of the violence in the city, what will happen to all the people we just hired to beat them up?
Think about it.
If we give everybody the serum of how to get well, what happens to the doctors when they don't need us no more?
When we don't need them anymore.
I'm just saying, and may the words of my mouth be the meditation on your heart and mind. Yeah, I went to the benediction. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, meditations means shut up. You don't talk.
Right, right, right. I believe that is Val speaking. Hey, Val. Yes, we're having an experience today for sure. For sure, having an experience. And the experience we're talking about is words. You know, we have to be so careful with words because unlike the favorite lullaby that they don't hurt, they do hurt because
Words
we're
hurt.
speaking negative over our life. I ain't gonna never get it because the man got me down. I'm never gonna be able to do this because I don't have my degree. No, as long as you keep standing up on that pole, believing them crows, you ain't gonna never get to the eyes on the yellow brick road.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like what I just said there. I'm gonna have to bend
Yes.
that back. I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
play that back and write that down. You
Yeah,
continue
just
to
even
put that on the pole. What you think?
right. And
What's
and
the
and
brains
just
of the whole operation?
think about, the people that you listen to and admire growing up, and when you said that, it just reminded me of Beth's story, when she was saying her aunt was telling her, all of these negative things that she had to get over, about herself. You're too this, you're too that. And you can't sing, like, who wants to hear that? But words do matter because they affected her life for a long period of time before she was able to move past it and get over it. But see, this is where you as an adult come in, and now you're realizing I am beautiful. I can do whatever I want. You know what I
Right.
mean? I can sing. I have legacy. Like, you do have to get over that. So words matter. All of those negative things, when people were bullied in school, where they were calling them all kinds of names. You're this, you're that. You know what I mean? You look like a cockroach. You know what I mean? Like you, all kinds of horrible things. That is a detriment to your self-esteem.
Right.
And some people don't get over that for a long time, and some don't get over it. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? They internalize that, and then you go on living your life like that. So, people, words matter.
And yes,
Words
Alfonso,
matter.
you're right. A lot of people did like jazz, but it was so well hidden to people didn't even know where to go get it. They didn't
Okay.
know.
There was some jazz fusion right there.
That sure enough was. But but when people lead, see, we have been led all our lives and told by words what was considered important and what was not. We were not in those words,
Right.
but the words were within us.
Mm-hmm.
See, they took the word out of the school, but it was up to us to put the word back in the school by sending the word through our kids. And a lot of people didn't
True.
do that. A lot of people said, oh, they're not doing it at school. Okay, we'll do it at home.
Right.
Everything you learn is at home. It's served
It
home.
starts in the
Home
home.
first.
Period.
Whatever's going on in the home usually evolves out. That's why when you got in trouble in school, they will call the parents up like, was something going on at home? And
Yep.
the first thing is that I'm like, well, why something got to be going on at home? Because she cutting up in here. Because when you can't control an environment, you go into an environment and you control it.
Trying to control it. Yes. Or it's the opposite when you're being, belittled and controlled at home. When you go someplace else, you do the same thing. You start to want to control the scenario so that you feel empowered because you feel so small at home.
Woo, wait a minute. The Powers chat house is blowing up some good stuff. And Val said, she said, yes, words do matter. And that is true. And then she also came back and said, for every bad scar word, it takes 17 positives to erase. And you are
Yep.
so right. I remember, and I'm going to tell you what Fonzo said after that. I remember I was told by a counselor that when you're constantly hearing a negative over your life, it's very hard for you to believe anything positive they say about you. And you'll
Yep.
question that
Yep.
before you question the bad. That's why
Exactly.
It's so hard for us to make people believe that we are not what marketing said we are. We are not based off of a statistical score. Stop putting us in a box and statistically saying, well, this means this. No, it's time for you to say no. That's a word that
Yeah.
we need to use. No.
No.
And when you say the word no, you want to see a house go crazy?
Mean it.
No, I dare you. I
No.
dare you to take back your power and say, no. Watch what happened.
Yes.
Watch
And
what happened.
understand your power.
Yes.
And understand when you are giving it away so that you know when to take it back. Because we don't recognize that we're giving away our power. You know what I mean? We don't even realize that because sometimes it slowly happens over time. And you don't even realize that, until something major happens and you're like, wait a minute, but you do. You start to give up your power.
Yeah. And we do that very easily because we have been doing that since we got here.
Yep.
This U.S. soul.
Yes.
We have been giving up our power. And
well, it was stolen. They took our power.
And if you want to know how to learn how to stand up and beat this thing, take your power. Find out who you are. Stop looking at who everybody else is. Find out who you are and where you belong in this world, and you become it. And
you
stop
become
worrying
it.
about what everybody's saying you're doing.
Right.
So Alfonso
snatch
said,
it back.
Yeah, bring
Take
it back.
your power back. Take your power back.
So Alfonso said that happened to us when he was in Brooklyn. We made a peace, but the people in charge didn't want it because they would lose money. Also, the good book say we have the power of death and life in our mouth. We just have to change our mindset and speak first. And these kids nowadays are soft. That's where most of the killing is coming from. And so he also said he used to play a tenor sax. What? That's why I like you. You a sax player. You be like, play, baby, play. And Val said, yup. So something we said, she said, yup. But it's all about control. And if we want to finally be free and break these chains, we need to learn how to get our power back by talking the words of strength, by talking the word of life to us, believing that it's okay to work at McDonald's. It's a job.
It's cool.
Before it was like, you ain't gonna catch me working at McDonald's. Look, they're paying $15 an hour at McDonald's. What?
Right.
And they have a school. Did anybody know that McDonald's has a school? You got to go to McDonald's school to go to management, to get management. You got to go to McDonald's school. Like, seriously? But when you think about it, it shows you that they want you to believe that they have you in mind, because they want to educate their workers and how to take care properly their customers. Say what you want to say, but be the first one to beat them down. You hear the words that they have to say about McDonald's, but we are so quick to be negative because that's all we've ever heard. That's all we've ever felt. And then when you have children who have been in a house where there's a lot of love and a lot of joy and speaking power over them, and they go and meet that person, it's like a tornado. It's like a major thunderstorm. You hear me?
Yes.
Because they don't understand each other.
No.
And because they don't, there's no matter of respect. I don't know where to categorize you. I don't know what to say about you. All I know is I'm going to get rid of you.
And opposites do attract.
They do.
They initiate, something, wonderful and think that it's going to work. But all of the other things then come to the surface. You know what I mean? You can only tamper it down but for so long before, the ugliness rears its head. And when you realize that, oh, okay, well, if this man didn't respect his mother, he's definitely not going to respect you. You know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing that's going on, and it's going on a lot. It's like, because how many relationships have broken up in this scenario, and you found out then COVID, I used to like you. Mm, I don't like you so much no more. You know what I mean? When people were closer together and realized some couples fell in love because they really liked each other. Other couples fell out of love, and other couples was feeling blasé betwixt and between. You know what I mean? Should I stay? Should I? Well, we did have a good time. It was good, but now it's off. You know what I mean? So do I try to get back to that, or is it time to go? So it was a lot going on, and you would think that, with the pandemic and everybody getting a chance to, come out, that people would be happy. They would be excited, just to be outside and to be amongst people. But we also have to realize what people did during the pandemic. You know what I mean? What was going on in their circle, how they were utilizing their words, and how negative those words were when they were stuck in, because it's all coming out now. Like, why are you so angry? Like, everything was on the TV, on the phone. So you was getting fed all of this stuff. You're not really taking the time to have a conversation, with someone. Having that conversation and not just a text is so important. You can feel somebody's vibe and where they're coming from. But if you're not talking, what's happening? And if you don't have a goal that in mind, that's something that you want to achieve. Okay, I'm stuck. All right, well, I'm gonna do this while I got time. I'm gonna go ahead and read these books while I got time. I'm gonna go and do these seminars while I got time. But if that's not in your mentality, and all you're thinking is, more weed, more drugs, more, try to get over, you know what I mean? All right, how I'm gonna get this money that you don't deserve. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're consumed by negative and you speak only negative, when we are freed now, it's all negative.
But you know what? It goes even deeper than that, because sometimes people were put in a position where they didn't know how to feed themselves. They didn't know how to deal with themselves. And I'm surprised we didn't have a lot more suicides, because people were by themselves and they didn't have anybody to sit there and say, you're going to be okay, because they always relied on somebody who was there. But now that COVID was there, they didn't have that connection, or they didn't know, they weren't able to get the type of information off of TV, because all they kept seeing was negative, 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 negative. And then all they kept hearing already in their head. So it was like, you know what? I'm never going to win. So if you always feel like you can't win, and people saying you're never going to win, and then the world look like it's coming to an end, what happens when you get outside and you see ain't nothing changed?
Ain't nothing changed.
You're going to be angry. You're going to be mad. Or you're going to see, we was in the house, we was able to move some things happen in our favor, and now we going back outside and like they're trying to put us right back where we came from. Yeah, that's enough to be angry about. But if you don't know how to deal with that, if you don't know how to digest that, if you don't know how to stand on top of that,
yeah,
you're going to be angry. But it all comes down to respect. And I am so glad that movie is out right now, because they really going to get the understanding of the RESPECT from her version. But I'm also glad to hear how her children and her grandchildren said, but that wasn't the woman who was with us.
Right. Because you got to start by respecting yourself.
Got to.
Main thing, respecting yourself. you aren't going to know how to respect someone else if you don't respect yourself. And usually the first person that you respect growing up is your parents.
But guess what? If your parents is not there and you don't understand why your parents is not there, you're going to sit in there and you're going to create a situation that's going to cause you to not have respect for your parents, because you're going to feel as though they should have been there for you. They should have did this for you and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Not understanding the circumstances. But then once they get old enough to understand the circumstances, then they turn around and look and go,
Oh,
but meanwhile, you're
oh.
going through this struggle, but because we don't have those type of programs like we used to, or we don't have those relationships like we used to have in the neighborhoods, within the community, to be able to explain to a closed mind,
Mm-hmm.
they grow up and they become this disrespectful person. They become the person that says, I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do because at my house they allowed me to.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody went in their house to find out why did they allow him to go crazy like this out in the street. Why
Yes.
did they allow that? We watch this stuff on TV and then we listen to the music and people want to find a reason to blame. When the blame really starts by you sitting down and changing your mindset.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to want to change.
Yes.
If you don't want to change, nothing I can say to you,
Mm-mm.
nothing I can even do to you
Or
can
for
make
you is going to help. Yes.
you. It has to hit you first.
Mm-hmm.
It
And you
has.
have to have that value. You have to value yourself as a person. And there has to be someone in your life that you value. Um, because then you're not seeing it. If you just value the guy on the corner, that's what you aspire to, because you valued that friendship because at least they paid attention to you. I've
Mm,
had young men say that where, the coach didn't come pick them up and scoop them up off the corner, but, the other guy did. You know what I'm saying? And he paid attention to him. So now you in that life because this one guy paid attention to you when that wasn't even his intention. His intention was to get you to work for him. And you saw somebody finally being kind to you. So it gets very, very hard. But you've got to value yourself. It's really where it begins.
now that one is a straight mental situation because nobody paid attention to me. Do you know how many things have transpired through people's lives because of attention?
Yes.
Women has started going to other women because they said she paid attention to my womanly needs and he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I had a woman that told me that. And I also had a man told me the women wasn't hollering at me, but the man was.
Wow.
Then I heard my own kind don't like me. So when I went to the white family, they accepted me. When I went to the Koreans, they talked and they ate with me. My people wouldn't even look at me.
Wow.
Racial relationships. And all of that is because lack of attention. A lot of men left their women because another woman was giving them attention.
More
I never,
attention.
I never forget when I was married, my husband went and he brought me all these clothes thinking I kept telling them, I am not that chick. But the women that he was with, they was material.
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, I can get my own clothes and my own shoes. I didn't need that, but he knew I had a liking to it. So he went, he brought me some clothes, but he was never home. But the guys at the office will always tell me. And then one day he said, well, how was work? I said, work was the best day. I wish I could have made my work become my home. He said, why is that? I said, because work paid more attention to me than my home did.
Ooh, well,
For a long time, he didn't get it. And I told him,
right.
because you're dressing me for another man to admire me. You don't even know
Mm.
you don't even know what I look like when I went to work. You don't even know which perfume I went on. You can't even tell if I had on knee highs or stockings. They could. they could. Oh, you look like you slimming down. Oh, that color's nice on you. Oh, I'm loving your shoes. But what did the man who bought it for me say?
You're right.
But then
Nothing.
it came right back to, well, why are you not telling her that? Because where he came from, that wasn't taught to pay attention to home. It was taught take care of home. Well, take care of home was get them clothes and shoes and give them a couple of dollars and make something to eat. That's take care of home. While he was out there paying attention to something else.
Wow.
So it goes again with words, attention, because the words that was coming out in his household and when he came to my household wasn't the same words we were speaking.
Right. So you talking two different languages.
Two different languages and wondering why it didn't work. And that's because we didn't take the time, like you said, to get to know each other. Because had we just had the conversation.
Yes.
But then again, I can't say that because, once your mind is glued to something else, see, we get that thing backwards. We get that at that first, and then we be like, okay, I think I'm gonna like you a little bit. And then you start doing some other stuff. Oh, yeah, I think I'm really gonna love you. And then
that's go backwards.
Wait a minute. We need to go back the other way. Go back the other way.
Go back through the turnstile.
Pay your fare. Pay your fare.
Be like, yeah, we're gonna back that up. We're gonna go backwards on that. Yeah, it's true.
Where I was in my life, and I'm being real, I'm being 100. Where I was in my life and how I am as a person, I still believe that I would have still missed it because I'm that caring person, and I always want to be there to help you, get you where you gotta get to. But what I've learned is I can only help what you want me to help. You want me to be there, you have to tell me you want me there because I'm not going to jump in and be like, well, do you want it? Do you want me?
Right.
Because I can say all day, this is what I want for you, but that may not be what you want for you.
Exactly.
Words again. Words again.
Yes. And just having that conversation makes all the difference. Like our chat with Ray Lamar. And that conversation came up and, she's like, well, I did everything. You know what I mean? I took over, football night and I made this and I did this and I did this. And then he's like, but you're doing too much because that's my time. You know what I mean? You didn't ask me what I wanted. You just assumed what needed to happen. And now you messing up my time with me. You know what I mean? Or my time with my boys. You know what I mean? So we don't ask the questions. If you don't talk about it, you're not going to know. And everyone's perception is different. She thought she was doing the right thing and covering him and taking care of him and nurturing her man.
But that's what we do.
Right. But he thought
what my man need, my man get.
But he like, hold up.
I ain't asked you for that.
That's too much. And he can't get a word in edgewise because she like, no, I got you. But, okay. And then they just digress. So then you don't even find out that they don't like it. They just go out. Then you be like, well, how come you ain't watching the game at home no more? You don't know that you the reason. But he ain't trying to have no argument about it. But this is where we talk about words matter, having the conversation, having a friendship, building a friendship. It all matters.
Girl, talking about building with words. We're going to look, before we're going to have to build another type of situation, we're going to need to take a break real quick because, building. When you have a relationship that you have built and then words come and knock them down, that's where we need to go.
The words didn't come. The words came out of your mouth.
But because of the relationship, if it mattered, those words could have been fixed.
Yes. Or they would have never come out of your mouth.
We'll be right back, y'all.
We'll be right back.
I feel like busting loose. What's the news? I said, Shala. Come on, y'all said. I said, Shala. Get it, y'all said. I said, Shala. Come on, y'all said. I said, Shala. Hit it, y'all said. Give me the bridge now.
So
Mhm.
yeah, talking about them words in the build up.
Building that.
Mm.
Build it. Build it and they will come.
You
The right
did
one
that.
will come.
You did that.
No,
You did that. You did that. You
I
did
did. I couldn't stop
that.
myself.
You did that. And you know, I believe we've all had that conversation with someone we had a relationship with, a friendship, whether it was the relationship or with the friendship or it was the family. So out of those three things, when words can be said but not spoken about, not broken down, not discussed, can ruin something that could have been great or that was good.
Yeah, the absence of words.
Yeah, that
Not
one.
not saying I love you, not saying I got you, not knowing when it's time to just hug you. People are going through stuff and sometimes they're not looking for you to fix it. They just need a hug. So knowing when to speak and when not to speak and just saying I got you. You know what I mean? You got me, I got you. Oh,
Or
that's my song.
better yet, the death of silence. You're not saying nothing.
Mm.
That one, so Ashley Scott has a song called Words. And in one of his verses, he says, sometimes I don't say nothing because I don't want to have an argument.
Yep.
Or sometimes I just don't say nothing at all because I don't know what to say. But even then, in them two places, eventually there has to be a breakdown where a conversation has to come with some words.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, it's going to be when I needed to talk to you about this, you wouldn't talk to me, and now I'm out.
Right. Yep.
And then the other
You
one is
weren't listening to me when I was talking. Yep.
or we can't discuss it, or you can't find out what's wrong
Right.
with me, or
Right.
you don't even care
Mm-hmm.
that I said something that may have hurt you. And because of where we were, you couldn't say nothing to me. And
Right.
Those moments are the ones that need words the most. Because I'd rather you say to me, you hurt me when you said that, and this is how you made me feel. And you give me the option. No, not give me the option. You give me the option to explain myself,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that I cared enough to say, I didn't intentionally mean to hurt you.
Right.
This is what I was doing. And you
Right.
make the decision to say, well, now that we got it clear, I want to still stay quarantined with you, meaning
Mm-hmm.
6 feet apart.
Right.
Or that's when you come back together and say, okay, now that we talk this over and we come to a mutual agreement, we can move forward together. That's what you call an effective relationship with words.
Because you got to discuss it.
You got to discuss it.
And you got to be able to discuss it. And you got to listen.
You got to listen. You got to listen. You got
listen, Linda, listen.
You know who got a problem with listen, Linda?
Listen.
And that's because once it's like my words are triggers. I'm triggered happy. You could say, well, showing up, you did this, you went and I'll be a minute. Oh, wait a minute, wait. I'll stop you. I don't even let you get it out your chest. That wasn't what was happening. Hold on. Wait a minute. But I had to learn to say they have a right to clear their chest. Let them say how they feel.
Right.
Let it all out. And I know you want to stop them and say that's not what you meant to do. Hear them.
Hear them.
Then
They just want to be heard.
they want to be heard. And they want you to know. Some people will let you know. But then you got other people that be like, nope, by me not saying nothing to you, you already know.
Yup, they gonna cut you off. They just cut you right off.
Right.
And you wondering what happened, you know,
Right.
instead of people just taking the time to have a conversation. And it's easier to have the conversation. I don't want to be wondering, you know, well, wait a minute, what happened? Hello, wait, where you go?
But then there are some conversations where you can say,
You got bugged.
yeah. I'm saying like, yo, close the door. And I'm like the bug just said, oh, conversations.
Okay, look, you got all them trees and flowers.
Child,
So
know
you
ain't
might
nothing.
have a couple bugs.
And that's what I can't understand. How you have sinuses, but you move on a street that got nothing but trees and flowers. Come on now.
Let's keep taking that medicine.
That's why I had to move from the front to the back, because the trees and everything was just killing me in the morning. I was waking up doing the Martin. I said, good morning to you. Oh, there ain't no man in this house. Who that be? But yeah, but then there are some times where you're glad that they didn't say anything, and you're glad that they did walk away, and you realize that because you looked at your pocketbook or you looked at your banking account and you noticed nothing was hurting. If anything, it was. And you was like, oh, that was a good separation, because there's some times when you have some good cutoffs.
Yeah, it's like this was meant to be cut.
Yeah, and don't listen.
Yeah,
some are not supposed to be mended. Be careful.
Let it go. Let it go.
If you cut it, be careful, because sometimes things that are cut are supposed to be cut. There's a difference between a cut and broken. Some things you can break, it can be mended back. Some things that are cut, it's hard time trying to put that thing back together. You ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
To understand in your life.
Yeah, you ain't getting back a clean cut.
When there's a break.
Yeah.
Mine is cut.
I'm about to cut it.
The only thing that didn't cut in my life that was cut, and I'm still wondering how that happened, but everything else don't. Is
that about to cut it?
That biblical cord. That biblical cord was cut. I'm like, wait a minute, why are you still up under my get out my womb?
Well,
but yeah, it's a difference between a cut and a break. There's a huge difference between a cut and a break.
Yeah, that's true. Because you know that break can be mended.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about the one that said broke up. We said break.
Break. Yes.
Broken. You're not taking no breaks. It's cut off.
Yeah. So words are power.
They are.
I don't care what what the knucklehead used to say, and if you say or tell a lie, repeatedly, that eventually it becomes the truth. That's some frackernackle bull. Okay, so I can't even understand what's going on and why people think that it's just okay to lie to your face. Like, it's just okay. When did that become okay?
I don't understand the lie either. Yes, I do.
Because there's a purpose for the lie.
Behind the lie,
there's a purpose.
Something.
Yes.
And when when they have an agenda,
yep,
it's when the lie appears.
Yep.
So you have to be careful for people's agendas.
Yes. And that goes through life itself.
Yeah.
In every relationship, whether it's business or friendships, you just need to make sure that people don't have their own agenda, because people use words to say whatever they want
Hunty.
and the
What you say,
mask is
Hunty?
on.
It's
Okay,
so
they
hunty.
have a whole mask on, and they've been living in this mask for so
Mhm.
long. The mask has become a part of their body. It's a part of their
Mhm.
personality. And honey, you know how Steve Harvey would be like, okay, the 90-day rule. Well, shoot, you can do 90 and another 90 and another 90 and not see that this individual is not right, because the mask on top of the mask on top of the mask, he been doing this illusion for years. His whole life is an illusion. Do not go behind door number 1, 2, 3, or 4. You look behind any doors, you in trouble.
Matter of fact, you see the doors, run,
You see
run,
multiple doors, it's time to go.
run. You know what I'm saying? Run. I mean, again, not sitting in a judging seat. We're not sitting in a judging seat. We're basically saying when you change your mindset and you put words in different part of your sentence, it can make a difference in a positive way. And that's what we need to do. We keep wondering, why are we as a people so negative? That's because we're not speaking positive of each other. We always speak negative about the boys. The boys are doing this and they're killing each other. They're killing each other because they're in an environment that has been created that's not allowing them with another alternative. And they feel as though this is their only option. And when
Yes.
you feel as though you have no other option, what do? You play the game of survival. And if you have never lived or played the game Survivor, you're going to only look at this as, this is something off the movies. This is something out of a game. This is something I saw on TV. This is from a TV series.
Nope. It's real life.
It's real life. But if you don't take the time to understand them, and all people are doing is creating more laws instead of finding out what's really the root cause.
The root
Listen,
cause, yes, yes. The root cause makes all the difference, but you don't want to know the root cause.
No, you don't want to know,
because
you don't really
everyone
know
is
that part.
in a reactive mode. Everybody is reacting. Where is the proaction that's going on? It's like you need to be proactive to keep yourself from being in a position to have to react. You know what I mean? Because usually the reaction is never going to be a good one. You know what I'm saying? You're going to react to whatever your base is. You know what I mean? So if your base is to go hard, and oh, I'm gonna react. Okay, well, I'm going at you. That's where you're gonna go.
Right.
So if
Especially
we
that's
are
all they know.
proactive about it and try to learn something, and then try to bring them to the table to understand where they're at, to understand their frustrations, to understand what they're going through, and get enough young men who can verbalize that, because a lot of them just really seems to be aren't fueled with the tools to negotiate a situation, to deal with conflict, to deal with a conflicting situation that you don't agree with. Just because somebody doesn't agree with you doesn't mean that they can't be your friend, that you're not supposed to like them, that you got to hate them because they don't agree with you. I love you, but I don't agree with everything you say. I don't agree with anything everybody says. It's like there's going to be something in the mix that you're like, well, I don't really see that. You know what I mean? It's going to be something. So to grow up and never think that there's anything, if you don't agree with me, then you don't like me. I don't like you because you don't agree with me. What? When did life ever be so? When was life ever so agreeable?
You know what? It's another thing I don't like, when you put everybody, you say you don't want to be in a box, but you'll create a box.
It's been a box.
It's
We've
like,
been in a box a long time.
it's like you'll sit here and you'll say, I can't be boxed in, but I belong to this group. Well, you just boxed yourself in. I only associate myself with these kind of people, or I associate with alike people who's my like-minded vision-wise. Again, especially when you say that's all you can deal with, then you just made yourself a whole group.
Yeah.
because of like-minded people. Because only like-minded to this, and y'all all in this group together. We need to stop that. We need to really literally stop that. You got to be careful of your words, because you sat there and said you're not boxed in, but you just put yourself in the box. You literally picked yourself up and carried yourself up and dumped you in another box and said, they got me boxed in. You did that because you said you only hang around with like-minded people who's going the way you going, and only they can understand. Which, no, don't be surprised.
It's not an only situation ever. It's never an only situation.
Never.
And I'm not, one to, kind of quantify, groups and teams, you know what I mean? Because I've been on teams my whole life. So there is something to it, being around people who are also enjoying it, the same thing that you do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I would never say only. That was never my only team that I was involved in. You know what I mean? It's good to do something greater than yourself and to be on a team, to be cohesive and to learn to be on a team. Because that's one of the things that I see as well. You know what I mean? That you weren't on a team when you grew up. You don't know how to deal with other people. There's a whole lot that you learn just by being on a team. A basketball team, a football team, the track, because you have to learn these things cohesively together. And it lends to how you evolve and how you deal with people. So we need to have that, and we do need at some points in our lives to be around like-minded individuals, who are striving for something in the same direction that you are. That's important. But to say that it's only that, I don't feel as though you're putting yourself in a box. I feel as though you're growing. You're growing because you're smart enough to think outside the box. And it's like, okay, well, I'm not the only one who thinks this way. Because there are times when we are in our own little circle. I'll be talking about my circle. We are in our own little circle. And we don't even realize that there are so many people who feel the same way, because we're not sharing that information. So when we talk about it, we're sharing that information, how I got hurt and this happened, and having to deal with therapy, and that happened, like different things in life. You know what I mean? You had someone else to gravitate to. You had someone else who understood what you were going through. That wasn't your immediate family. It wasn't and that was your only thing. You know what I mean? That you had together because you met where? In therapy, and you both going through the same thing. And so now you have someone to talk to that understands, and you don't have to explain every little thing. They get it. So teams and groups are great. It's just not the only thing. That is how you evolve and become a better person.
Right. Because you're bigger than that.
Yes.
Because actually, when you end up there, you may have to climb out that box to go get somebody else, but to help you along the way. But because you didn't box yourself off, can't nobody reach you. But be careful how you want to reach out the box. It's like, oh, can you?
Well, we got a basketball term that's called box out. Okay.
Look,
so then you gonna box out everybody. You can't box out everybody. However, if that's your mentality and that's what you want to do, because that's how you protect you, you're also hindering yourself from being involved in anything else.
Yep.
So you're not growing if you're stuck in that box.
Hello. You're not really with like-minded people, because when them like-minded people move on, leaving you like by yourself, then what you
I was trying to be like them, but no, you're not.
No. That's it. It's like I say with love. Don't believe you just can't love one person. You have enough love for everybody. Just like you said, you only have one friend. No, you have enough room to be friends with other ones. But I need us to learn how to change our words, because once we start changing our words, we as a people will do much better. We will. I believe we will. We'll be able to handle things differently, and we will walk differently. Our attitude will be different, and we will become infectious.
Yep. We got educators and communicators, and there's thesaurus out there. Use it. Okay. Look it up. Google it. You know what I mean? Use some other words. Find some. Okay.
And let them speak to your heart.
Yes.
And when they
There's
speak
another
to your
way
heart,
to go about it.
it will flow like blood, and it will just flow right through you. It will go through your entire body. But you have to start with you first. You can't, and don't stop worrying about what everybody else is doing, what everybody else got. If you want to compete with anybody, compete with yourself to believing that you can be better. That's the best competition practice you could ever do.
Exactly. Because if you don't, you're going to be stuck in he said, she said the rest of your life. Because all you're worrying about is what somebody else said. You know what I mean? And never checking yourself. What did you say? You know what I mean? He said, she said, he did that, she did this. You know what I mean? Get out of the box. Get out of your own way. Learn something new and grow. And then use both your ears. Because you do got two.
You got two.
Use your ears a little bit more and try to be understanding of someone else's point. Because we grew up saying, and they would say, you know, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. You know, even though, well, they too big, they're not going to fit. But it wasn't about that. It was about trying to feel and understand where they're coming from.
Exactly.
Taking the time to just understand where they're coming from. Then you're like, oh, I didn't see it that way, right? I didn't even think about that. But if you never try to put yourself in their shoes, and this is only people that you truly care about, you want to understand. And especially if it's a male-female relationship, you want to understand. So fall back, listen, and then put yourself in their shoes. And most of the time, you will realize, oh, dang, I get it. You know what I mean? I get it.
Yeah. And
sometimes you need to sleep on it, but other times you just get it.
But that's another thing that we as a people is not good at. We're just not good at. All we're looking at is if somebody come and attack me, that's what I feel like I'm being attacked. So the best thing for me to do is to shut down, shut off, and shut you out. Sometimes you gotta, like I said, you gotta understand. You gotta digest it, listen, read it, come back. And they say, you know what? I think that was foul what you did and what you said. Okay.
Own up to it.
What about it that was foul? And ask questions. Don't be so quick to already think of who they talking to.
Who you think you talking to?
Right. Well, what's that all about?
What she say? Oh, she said that about me. Oh, really? Oh, well, let me tell you something.
Right.
Girls.
Like, about is my life.
Stop the madness.
My life was only worth a cheesesteak. Or my life was only worth $7.
A hoagie and a bag of chips.
You killed me. You literally killed me because I was delivering a $7 pizza and you wanted to rob me. My life was only worth $7.
Ooh, girl.
My life was only worth the cheesesteak because after all, I wanted a cheesesteak. But had I not wanted that cheesesteak, maybe I'd be living today.
Wow.
We so quick to react.
So
in a negative way that we
in a negative way. It's heavy.
We really think what we doing.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah.
Like that kid. I will always remember that kid. He was playing with a toy on his own porch, minding his business. But because you weren't tending to your emotional movements, you killed a kid that had nothing to do with what was going on.
Right. It's so sad.
You're taking out these kids, but their mamas got to bury them, and their mamas carried them for 9 months, maybe 7 months, and you took them out within a matter of seconds over words.
Yep. Words. Oh no, you're not gonna punk me. Oh my God. I ain't no snitch. Okay. Words.
Look, Rita's
And
in the
they've given
house.
these words so much power, that it just takes you off your square and totally out of sync with yourself. It's like, come on.
Right. And like we said, you listen to understand, not to criticize.
Yes.
And stop listening with the intent
To
to
argue.
argue.
That's all they doing. It's like the whole purpose is so aggressive. It's so aggressive from the door that the person that you're talking to doesn't have any other choice but to react, because you're not giving them any space to calmly discuss it. You coming at them with, gruff. But I'm like, oh my God. Oh my goodness. Like, you don't need to do all of that. It's not that deep. That's why we have an English language. It really does work. If you speak it, it works.
But you know what? It works when you know how. If you don't know
Girl.
how, and I believe sometimes we're too hard and sometimes we're not hard enough. And we need to understand the balance so that we can
Yeah,
help.
we weren't hard enough younger. That's where it is.
I don't
Because
know.
you need to discipline children at a young age. You cannot wait until they're teenagers and let them run free for their whole life. They don't have a chore to do. They're not responsible for anything, and you just give, and then you letting the iPad raise your kid. Okay, here, this will keep you quiet. Then this kid grows up, all they see was what's on TV, and that you're not there. You don't come down to their level to talk to them, to play with them. And then you get mad when they yelling at you. Wait, what? Oh, you cut. Oh, no. You're not cussing them out. Well, you didn't teach them not to. And all they learned was to do what you do because you showed them that. And everything around them was showing them that. So it's very, very hard at the 11th hour, you know what I mean, to try to change someone's mindset. It has to come from the home as early as possible.
And we have to stop blaming the situation of why we got there.
Yeah.
Is we are here. My mom wasn't here, so I had to get the iPad or I had to get the television. And unfortunately, I picked up some bad habits in school and I brought it home. And because I've been doing it for so long, now mommy want to take control of home. She can't because this is where I'm at.
Yep, it's too late.
The system has put me in a predicament where I become that mother where I'm like, my kid not going to talk to me like that, but I wasn't around to tell him not to because I was trying to put food on the table. And, we need to, that's what I mean by when I say we ought not be too judgmental and not be under judgmental. We ought not sit in the judgment seat at all. But what we ought to do is try to understand this is how we got here. Where can we go now? Unfortunately, you cannot blame it on my mama didn't give it to me. My daddy didn't teach me. You're old enough at this point now where it's not the right thing to do anymore.
Right.
Something in your body scope is letting you know this is just not the right way.
Right.
And when you find that out and you come to that point in your life, that should be when everything is going wrong. When everything is going wrong and the same thing keep happening over and over again, eventually you got to go to the teacher and say, look, I'm not passing this thing. What is the problem? Is it me?
Right.
Because
what do I need to do?
When you think about it, the child that had the problem being able to read and didn't say nothing because they was embarrassed to find out they had a disability in reading because the words wasn't the child's fault.
No.
It was the child's fault for not saying nothing, but it was our fault for not saying, wait a minute, let's talk. Now, I'm not telling you to go run up to everybody and say, come on, let's talk, because everybody's not there.
Yeah, everybody's not there, but it starts in the home where the parents needed to be able to recognize that their child needed help.
But unfortunately, if you haven't been introduced to it to know it, you wouldn't. My son had a problem and we didn't find out till 3rd grade. And guess what the problem was?
What?
He was such the best student, so they didn't recognize he wasn't the best student clearly when it came to the books.
What?
It came down to here. I was like, well, why didn't he know this? Well, why wasn't he doing this? Or why did you catch this? Well, nobody told me he had a problem with this. They was just skimming him right on past. Same thing happened to me. The teachers liked me. They passed me right on. I was in the 6th grade reading at a 3rd grade level because they broke us all into groups, and that's how they kept passing us, because they had the no child left behind back then even, but it wasn't verbally out like it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And if the teacher liked you and your parents, they just said, oh, they'll catch them, and their parents will help them. Come on, keep going. I know their mama good. Keep them going.
Yeah,
You have that. That's why I say you can't. That's why I don't sit in the seat of judgment and ask the question, well, why are they doing this? Well, I don't know why they're doing that, because I don't know how they got there. And sometimes the reason why they got there, you really don't want to know, because it's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is help them. And maybe, just maybe, if we stop calling our children hood rats and we start
Girl, I can't with the negative.
They are, you would be surprised. You will so be surprised. But guess what? They respect that little black car out there. Because I tell them, my car ain't come with an emblem, but I will definitely tie you on top of it. Pull your pants up. And when I drive past and walk past, respect me, just like I respect you.
Yeah.
We have to understand, as adults, we ought to respect our children, because they are doing the one thing that we didn't do, and that was ask why. We just did it because they said so. Well, why are you saying so? Tell me so I can understand, because right now you only giving me a key to say, oh, I really want to know now. So Sarita says, Sarita's talking, y'all. Sarita's talking. She said, some people don't want to label their children, so they blame everyone else. Woo! Yeah, that not my kid. Yeah,
right. Yes.
We do.
And they go to school with that, not my kid. Okay.
Yeah. And then she says some parents have the same learning disability, so they don't know how to help. Yes, exactly. They don't know how to help. I knew a man who had PTSD, and his triggers was totally different than his son who had PTSD. So he looked at his kid as just being misbehaving. He didn't look at his kid as being rebellious. But the problem was the child was being triggered. But one day we're going to have somebody come on. They're going to talk to us about that PTSD, because we all have PTSD, but we all just don't know how to deal with it, and we have different levels of it. But if we're not told how to detect it and understand it, we're going to be just like what Sarita said. We all going to have the same problem and don't know how to help ourselves. So how can we help anybody in our homes? We'll be right back, y'all. And when we come back, we're going to hear what Auntie says. What you think?
Yeah, let's hear what Auntie says, because I need to know.
Yeah, I think we need to find out what Auntie says. So we'll be right back, y'all. Will we be right back?
Yeah, we'll be right back, because I got to go.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Can you hear Auntie?
Mm-mm. No.
So can you hear Auntie speaking?
No, babe.
Wait a minute. Why Auntie can't be heard? Hold on, y'all. We're gonna try this again because Auntie talking some good stuff, and I don't know why we can't hear her. You sure you can't hear Auntie?
Mm-hmm.
But you can hear me. But you can't
Mm-hmm.
hear Auntie? All right, let's try this one more time. Tell me if you hear her. Do you hear her?
Nope. I see her lips moving, but can't hear it.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I know why we can't hear her. Yeah. I know why. So why don't you go ahead and finish talking to everybody and tell everybody how we doing and where they can find us?
Hey, family, you know where we are. I'm just like, we are on Facebook Live on the Sister Chat, the No BS Duo Show. That's No KNOWBS Duo Show. We also have our own .com, which is TKBS Productions with an S.com. You can go out there and find us. And we are definitely on Spotify. We're on YouTube at TKBSDS Pride. And do you know that we are on iHeartRadio? Did you know that? Yes, Hunty, we are on iHeartRadio. Yes, our last collaboration. So you can find us anywhere, aux us. You can always go back and watch it later. Go to our sister chat. You can watch it later. You can see it on my channel on Facebook. go to Starlene Bay, go to Shauna Hall Williams, and you can still find us there. So we are out there for to be seen, and so you can come and pick up a chat with us and hear what we have to say anytime, any day.
Good morning, beautiful people. Listen.
Body playing.
She said, "Good morning, beautiful people." Listen,
she did.
I
She
heard
sure
that.
did. And I don't know why all of a sudden it's not playing. Hold on, y'all. And she talking some good stuff. I heard everything. Let's see. Try it again.
I got a studio session, so I really have to go.
Good morning, beautiful people. Listen, top of the morning to you, right? Quick thought from yesterday. We talked about how, forgiving folks and giving their papers of eviction. But how about when you need to be forgiven? How do you process that? How do you feel when you have hurt people? And I know I have, because I'm not perfect. That's no excuse, right? I have to accept those things that I have done or have not done. How do you feel? How do you want someone to forgive you? And most of all, we ask God for forgiveness every day, supposedly. And we do the same things over and over again. Food for thought. Process how you feel when you need to be forgiven in those relationships that we were speaking of yesterday, in family, in church, in friendships, in relationships. How do you want to be forgiven when you have hurt people as well? Sometimes unknowing, and times that you have intentionally hurt them by dismissing your responsibility, dismissing a person's feelings, being selfish in your movements. How do you want to be forgiven? Let's think about that as we process how to forgive. Have the most amazing day you can. Remember, you are special. I love you from that special place. Until the next time, peace.
Well, Auntie said it. She always says it, and she puts it in a way that we all can love from a special place, right? Like she said, she loving us from a special place.
Mm-hmm.
You're muted. Okay, but now I can hear you.
Yeah, she's always
muted,
right
boo.
on time.
Oh, I'm muted.
Always.
Okay.
Always right on time. And we really do need to think about that. How are we dealing with when we wrong someone else? A lot of times it's not intentional, but the hurt is still there. So that's real good food for thought. Just to internalize that. We feel some kind of way when someone hurts us, but recognize that you need to listen and accept when you hurt someone else as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right, y'all. So y'all know what time it is. It's ending of our time. We'll have our quick inspirational moment of the pearls that we're gonna leave with you, and then we're gonna head up out of here. That sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
All right, y'all. Here come our inspirational moment.
I'd like to just inspire you to think outside the box, to just really think outside the box and allow yourself to take heed in what you say and really think before you speak. It's really that simple. You don't really want to hurt anyone, do you? No one intentionally tries to hurt someone. So I'm inspiring you to think outside the box and to do your thing and to just speak some words of kindness. Speak kindness out of your mouth. Speak empowerment to yourself and tell yourself every day, I am. And then put whatever you need behind that. But I am. I am enough. I am beautiful. I am successful. I will. I will. I can. So, all of those words you want to speak to yourself and then pass that down to the next generation of everyone in your family. My inspirational moment.
I'm going to behave. My inspirational moment is to piggyback off of exactly what's being said. Words are a two-way street. It not only affects us, but it affects other people around us too. We have grown accustomed to becoming our environment and our words. So, with that being said, change your words. Change your words for I can't do this or I don't want to do this, and start declaring what it is that you want to do. I will not do this. Not that you can't, you're just not going to. Saying that you're not sure you want to do this. Make the decision if you are going to do it or you're not going to do it. Be either hot or cold. Stop living in a world of a lukewarm. And then be careful when you're using your words when it comes to someone else. Because just like Auntie says, we're not perfect. But don't be so hard on people too. Because sometimes people indirectly don't even know that they're hurting you. So when you do that, make sure that you're not only being kind to others, be kind to yourself, but also be kind to people who indirectly or maybe even directly hurt you. But do know discernment will show up and you will know the difference. But you just keep still being positive you and speak life over yourself. And that's my inspirational moment.
Yes, Hunty.
Do the shoulder and a heavy
Yeah,
breathing.
you know what? I didn't do it.
Can somebody please hashtag she did that?
Darn it. No, I didn't do it this time.
Yes.
Girl.
I'd like to inspire you.
Did not. Shut the front door, Shauna.
Binge, baby, binge. I promise you. Go and play the replay and come back to the moment where we came on with you and you said, I come to inspire you. Honey, I know somebody was inspired. They probably can't tell you what you said, but they know what you said.
Oh, you are so special. I don't know what she talking about, y'all. I don't know what she talking about. But you know where my heart is, right? It's just
for the hashtag.
Shut the front door, Val. She did that. I didn't. I did.
So listen, just to let you guys know what's going on, because a lot of y'all are probably a little confused. They're like, wait a minute, y'all said y'all be coming on every day. No, we said there will be an experience every day. Now, is it going to always be live? Is it going to be recorded? Or are we going to just leave you with something? The only way you're going to know is if you're making sure that you're following the No BS Duo Show. So follow, like, and subscribe. So whenever we do anything, you'll know what we're doing. So then you won't be surprised. Because life has made some changes. And we are being and changing with life. And we would not be doing our part if we didn't. Because life still spins and go this way, even though everybody has their interpretation of how it's supposed to spin. You can only describe what it spins for you and forget what everybody else's what other people think and their perceptions are. If
Mhm.
you want to assume, go ahead and let them assume, but don't let the as be you. Let it just be them, and you just do it what it is that you do. So with that, we say it's not that you can't wear your crown.
Nope.
It may fall, twist. You may wear it differently, but all you may need to know is it's okay. It's even okay not to be okay, and just take your crown and adjust it a little bit,
Just a little bit.
baby.
Just a little bit.
What's that crown now,
Just a little bit.
sister?
Just a little bit.
We did it right this time. We did it right this time, y'all.
Yes, Hunty. Well,
Did it
we
right
gonna see
this
y'all
time.
right back here. What? Same time, same bat channel.
There you go.
The Sister
y'all-
Chista Chat is all that.
All that.
All that.
All that.
All that in the Sister Chat. All that in the Sister Chat. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all. Be peaceful, be safe, and stay sweet. Don't forget, y'all, Val will be turning up the praise, I believe, tomorrow.
Raise the praise.
Raising the praise tomorrow at 6. So y'all make sure y'all be here, because if y'all not, best believe she will. So see y'all soon.
See ya.